Ed here with the Digital Digest, and today we're taking a look at the Pixel Voical Lark X wireless microphone system. This retails for a little over $200 US, and I'll include a link in the description for those of you interested in picking one up. Now, this was sent over by the manufacturer for review purposes. It does incorporate noise reduction as well as a charging case that you're going to see right now. 8 hours on the actual receiver for the two microphones to communicate to, 4 hours of battery life on those microphones, and then you can charge the entire kit internally in that charge carry case. You can see we have a fairly thick user manual, multiple languages, of course. Go ahead and move this out of the way. And this is ideal for anyone looking for a really affordable dual mic system, travel cases included, a nice travel case at that. And it is completely turnkey. It's literally a run and gun dream, in that as soon as you hit the button, you are good to go. So the first thing we're looking at here is the actual charging case. A long press of that button will show you how much of the internal battery that charges all three units is available. So right now, we're just about at 50%. And then you're going to charge that using the Type-C port right here. So connect that to a wall adapter, computer, whatever it may be, and this will, once fully charged, give you roughly 2 full charges of the internal equipment. That's how many times it will be able to recharge the two mics and the receiver. So before I get into the rest of that, let's look at what else is included by Pixel in this package. Again, for a little over $200, they're accommodating just about everything. So we've got an adapter for iPhones, so that's a Lightning to a TRS RRS cable. And then in here, it's pretty much a bounty of connectivity for the Pixel Voical Lark X. So let's take a look at what's included. First and foremost, we have a cold shoe mount so that you can mount the receiver to your camera of choice. We have a USB Type A to Type C adapter. We have a audio jack adapter, essentially to go from the TRRS to obviously large format. Then we have a Type-C to Type-C for charging the unit. You can also charge these individually. You're going to see that in a moment. We also have extended antennas for the microphones in the event you want to really test the range of this. Now, it's marketed as having a 300 and roughly 30-foot range, but outdoor use is going to be kind of hit or miss, and I'll explain why when we get to the microphone system. And then we have all of the TRS cables that basically you're going to need in the event you want to hook up phones to this, which you easily can do. So whether we're talking about Android or, of course, iPhone devices, you won't have a problem. So let's get to the unit itself. So as you can see, we've got the two microphones and the receiver unit. Essentially, in order to charge these, you're going to turn this upside down. You can see now it's right side up, and that's because that's where the Type-C charging port is that it's going to mate with inside the charging dock, which hopefully you can sort of make out in there. But let's go ahead and put that down. Let's pull out the microphone units. And one of the nice things about this system is that it pairs instantly. So first and foremost, power button right here on the right side, volume rocker on the right side as well. Outside of that, the charging port, nothing else except here at the bottom, you have an array of I/O. So in the center, you have the ability to monitor your audio. And then on the right, full tone input, and you have input for your smartphone, essentially anything with a 3.5mm that you want to feed audio into this so you can put a soundtrack on there. Again, this is meant to be turnkey so that you don't have to do anything other than plug and play. And that's really the goal of this device. So let's go ahead and power it on. Short, long press, as ironic as that may sound, boots it up. You can see the battery indicator right there. And then there are 2 channels for each respective unit. Go ahead and put that down. And then let's go ahead and power both of these on. Short, long, however you want to characterize it. And you can see there are little LEDs here to essentially let you know where your battery life is at. Now, since both of them are solid, that means we have enough battery life to basically get to work. Now, in the event either of them was very low, it would flash. It would be a blinking light. And then each red button, besides acting as a power button, also acts as your noise reduction button. So a single press, you can see, has now turned that to an amber or more of maybe a green hue, yellow or green. Hopefully that's coming through on camera. And another press returns it back to that white light. And that's to indicate switching from noise reduction back and forth. Now, when you're looking at the readout here, excuse the refresh rate, you can see that we have 2 independent channels. Basically, if I hit the volume rocker, you can see that we are changing both volume channels simultaneously. So you can see it 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and that's how you're going to cycle through the audio levels for each channel. Now you can do that independently. I have them synced up. If you want to record stereo audio, that's the way you're going to do it best. In this case, we're going to only be using one channel because I want to demo the audio for you. So I will be switching from my XLR mic that I'm currently recording this video on to one of the Pixel Voical mics. Now, I mentioned not ideal for outdoor use, and that's because, as you can see, it has a little grill there on the microphone, but no dead cat, so no way to cut wind noise. And here's a good example you're seeing right now. This is blinking, and you can see right there we have a red battery. That's because this channel, this right microphone here, it's arbitrarily right, is on low battery. So we're going to stick with this unit. So I'm going to go ahead and power this off. Another thing you're going to notice in terms of indicators, as difficult as it may be to see these because of my camera's refresh rate, is that when speaking, so I'm speaking into the mic right now, we can see that this audio icon is alternating. It's solid green, then it goes yellow. That's to basically indicate level. So rather than getting an active level read out, you are just getting essential cues as to whether it's loud enough. If it's green, audio should be fairly good. If it's yellow, it's getting too quiet, and then it dips down to red if it's way too quiet to even be transmitted. And then we have an indicator right there for when we're in the noise reduction mode. You see that circle went to amber, or yellow. Again, it went back to white. That's how you know. So again, white is no noise reduction, and the amber is noise reduction. And up here, the signal strength is merely letting you know how strong the signal is between the microphone and the receiver. And now you're listening to the Pixel Voical Lark X. And I'm curious to see what all of you think about the audio quality of this plug-and-play system. It's budget-oriented at a little over $200 US. It includes 2 microphone units that give you up to 4 hours of battery life, 8 hours on the actual receiver, and then of course you get this carry case that will charge all of them, which is something we've seen with other manufacturers like the Hollyland Lark. In addition to that, 2 cycles of charge for the whole family of this system inside of this, and then you also get the travel case and all of the accessories that I've shown you so far. I think the audio quality is actually surprisingly good. Build quality on the unit is good, so there's really not a lot to dislike. At this price point, I think this is ideal for anyone who's looking to just plug this in to their smartphone or camera of choice and start recording. As you can see, I've got one of the included cables connected to my Sony FX3 XLR adapter. I didn't have to do anything in terms of gain on camera. I simply adjusted the microphone recording level right here on the receiver. Sitting at a level 5. Now, if I wanted to use this in a boom capacity, which I don't really feel these are manufactured to be used as, they're clearly lav mics, then you're going to have to crank it up. But before I do that, let's go ahead and turn on the noise cancellation feature. You're going to see this icon turn amber when I do this. So let's go ahead and test that. And now we're using noise cancellation. So I'm curious as to whether or not all of you in the audience like this more or maybe less. I know I personally tend to stay away from low pass, low cut filters, noise reduction filters, unless absolutely necessary, because they tend to take so much out of the signal that sometimes it doesn't benefit the audience in terms of what they're listening to. And because I'm operating in the studio, we don't really have a need for it. But if you were outside, that's where I could see this being something of use, because after all, these do not come with a dead cat of any sort to do any form of cutting wind noise. So maybe that's really the best application for the noise reduction feature. Or if an air conditioner or heater is blowing on you, I do have heat on right now because it's about 40 degrees where I am. That is Fahrenheit. But nonetheless, I don't think you're going to necessarily hear it. My studio is set up accordingly. But some of you are going to want to use this. I personally, again, stay away from anything that alters the raw audio, even in post. So I'm going to go ahead and switch it back. And now let's talk about using this as a boom. So I'm going to remove it. Now you can tell I've brought the mic that was clipped onto my shirt here into frame. From this distance, things are going to be too low. So I'm going to crank it up. And let's stay right about there at a level 8. I don't see any clipping. So now you can use this in a boom capacity. And you might tell me this sounds good. I'm going to be curious what everyone thinks. What I can tell you from all of my testing with the Voical Lark X is that I was just overall impressed with the audio quality for this price point. I think that's really the takeaway from this system. You're getting everything you need to record up to 2 people, even at a distance, whether you're talking about interview, run and gun, whatever it may be. And you're doing it all for $200 with solid battery life again and good range. And if you really need to amp up the range, they've included adapters. If you're using an iPhone, they've included a lightning adapter. So really there's no stone left unturned here with the Voical Lark X. And at this price point, I've looked at multiple systems, again, from Hollyland, Murphac, as well as Rode, and none really were in this league at this price point. But even the ones that were, I think the most important part about the Voical Lark X is, again, that ease of use, and there's absolutely no learning curve for an end user. And I think that's probably the biggest selling point with this system. So definitely a good option if you're looking to get your feet wet in a wireless mic system. There are a lot on the market. I've covered several of them, and this one does not disappoint at its price point. Again, I don't think a shotgun utilization or a boom utilization of this mic is ideal. I think it is meant to be clipped on to a collar or the actual person that's being recorded or interviewed, but it's really up to you how you want to end up using the Pixel Voical Lark X. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to post them. Hit that like button, and as usual, please feel free to subscribe, and please stay safe. Later.